The Caribbean Diaspora Weekly South Florida edition is presented by Carobcast, live Caribbean TV anywhere, and by Jamaicans.com. Brought to you in part by Golson Spine Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, with locations in Pembroke Pines, Plantation, and North Lauderdale. Call 866-GOLDSON. It's gonna be a beautiful day. Hi, I'm Khalid Thompson, and this is the Caribbean Diaspora Weekly South Florida edition, opening a window into our Caribbean American world. On today's show, Glenn Blakk is out and about at a pre-carnival Juve event. Chef Irie is cooking Caribbean with a spicy vegetarian dish, and Trinidadian Olympic sprint champion Ato Boldon talks to us about surviving success. Let's get started with Glenn Blakk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, if you're in Miami or Broward, it's carnival time again. I'm here with Michelle, and I don't think I'm leaving. I am here with a carnival first-timer. Tell everybody your name.
Cherokee.
Cherokee, how do the Native American people feel about carnival?
They like it.
I have no idea what was in it, but I'm here with the mixologist, and she's going to explain what I'm about to die from.
So it's a Jello shot. It has punch and rum from Trinidad.
No wonder I've forgotten about my depressing lack of money. The Carnival Committee here at Juve. So tell us exactly what the event is. For the people who don't know at home, what is Juve all about?
Juve is the beginner of carnival.
Mud, powder, paints, cut up shorts, anything goes for Juve.
I saw many beautiful women here tonight. I'd like to know, can you get me their phone numbers?
Sure.
I'll take it for myself.
And you are correct. We have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Just below me is Vanessa. I'm going to ask you a very important question. Okay, it has a lot to do with Juve, all right?
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Me, Buju Banton, and Shabba Ranks. Marry one, sleep with one, kill one. Go.
Oh God! What does that have to do with Juve?
Everything.
Juve, cocoa, paint, rum, soca, shrocks, Juve.
So you're pleading the fifth.
Absolutely.
I am standing here with Annette from Trinidad. What we want to know is, are you a natural blonde?
I was born a blonde.
What do you love about Juve?
Everything.
Anything is legal in Juve. By the way, I am not a lawyer. If this gets you in trouble, please do not bring this up in court. It will not help you. I am here with Dexter from Miami Rhythm Section.
If you have any kind of rhythm, you're welcome to come and join the band.
As a matter of fact, I heard they were looking for somebody with empty heads to just... Do you think I can join?
If you could keep a beat, a time in, come in.
Well, the way I grew up, I was keeping beatings regularly, so... I'm just gonna take my time with this interview because after I ask all the questions, it's gonna be over. Ladies, if you had to assign a number to my sexiness, what would it be?
To your sexiness? What can we give him? He like lady. He like an 8.
I'll take it.
I love it.
If your family is anything like my crazy Caribbean family, then you know how they use products intended for one thing for a completely different purpose. This week, I'll be giving you tips on how to use vinegar for more than just your kitchen. For home and garden, to grow beautiful and healthy flowers, add 2 tablespoons of vinegar to 2 quarts of water. This will help flowers bloom to their full potential and make them last just a little bit longer. Have a cat problem in your yard? Spray vinegar where they like to hang out and sleep. This will discourage them from being in the area and serves as an eco-friendly way to get rid of them. To prevent lint from forming on your favorite clothes, add a cup of vinegar to every load of laundry. For health and beauty, mosquito bite? Relieve itching and redness by using a cotton ball to dab vinegar on the affected area. Want shiny, lustrous hair? After shampooing, add a cup of vinegar to a large glass of warm water. This will not only help give you beautiful and shiny hair, but it's also an inexpensive way to add natural highlights to your hair, and even helps treat and prevent dandruff. Deodorize air in a room by spraying vinegar around the area.
When we come back, Cooking Caribbean with Chef Irie.
When you're looking for authentic Caribbean flavor, the place to go is Donnas Caribbean Restaurant. The food is good and the service is great. Take out, dine in, or catch us on the go. Try our all-you-can-eat buffet every Saturday and Sunday in Lauderhill and Pembroke Pines. And with 6 locations to serve you, there's a Donnas near you. Visit DonnasCaribbean.com or call 1-877-55-DONNA.
I'm Grandma Cherry, and welcome to Donna's Restaurant.
Victoria Mutual Building Society, building your financial independence in Jamaica. For information, call 305-770-2622.
Hi, I'm Chef Irie, and today we're going to be doing a vegetarian style dish. It's called spiced tomato pumpkin. It can be served as a side and definitely as a main entree course for all you vegetarians out there. All right, so let's get started. This is very easy, a nice simple dish to make. So we're gonna start adding some oil to our hot pan. A little vegetable oil, canola, olive oil is good here. We're gonna add some garlic. We're gonna add some onions. We're gonna give that a quick stir, and we're gonna add a little ginger. Stir that up real nice. So now we're gonna add our peppers. We're gonna stir that up just a little more. A little salt, some cumin seeds, ground coriander, tomato, pumpkin, and of course Grace Classic coconut milk. And we're gonna let that come up to a slight boil, and then we're gonna reduce it down. So we're gonna cut up our cilantro, and we're gonna stir it in. So as you can see, it's starting to bubble up, which is what I'm looking for. I just wanna make sure the cilantro gets cooked in. I'm just gonna let this cook for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna plate it up and add a little more of cilantro as a garnish. So our dish has been cooking for a few minutes now, and what I'm looking for is a nice sort of softness to the pumpkin. Even though they were blanched earlier, I made sure not to cook them too soft, and I just want to make sure that they're knife or fork tender now, which they are. And what I'm just going to do is just add a little more cilantro, nice quick last stir, and we're going to put that right on our platter. This is a dish that's similar to what's made in Trinidad called pumpkin choka. I hope you get a chance to try this and come back for more. See you next time. Chef Irie, food on fire.
Each October, South Florida's Caribbean community gears up for Miami Broad One Carnival, a multi-sensory event that combines the pulsating sounds of steel drums, the delectable aroma of island food, and the vivacious colors of scantily clad dancers in elaborate sequined costumes. Carnival is derived from the Catholic pre-Lent costume celebration that began hundreds of years ago. Because slaves were not allowed to participate in the festival, they started their own African-inspired celebration with drumming and the wearing of feathers, shells, and masks. Today, Carnival is a fixture in the Caribbean and South America, starting each year in Trinidad and Tobago. After festivities in other large cities around the globe, the annual celebration winds up in South Florida with a fun-filled multi-day event. To learn more about Miami Broad Carnival, visit the South Florida Times website, sfltimes.com.
Coming up, a conversation with Trinidadian sprinting legend Atto Boldin. And in the diaspora perspective, an opinion piece on Caribbean exceptionalism. Let's say you're from the Caribbean and you've moved to France or China or some other place far, far away. But you want to watch TV from your own country in your new living room. Well, now you can. Visit Carobcast.tv or download the Carobcast app on your Roku or mobile device. It's that easy. Live Caribbean TV anywhere in the world. Visit Carobcast.tv to learn more and make sure to tell a friend. SFL Carabusiness.com and South Florida Caribbean.com, the online magazine and directory promoting South Florida's Caribbean businesses. In the 1990s, Trinidadian athlete turned sports analyst Ato Boldon was a dynamo on the track. He lived in the U.S. but remained a citizen of Trinidad, and so, beginning in 1992 at 18 years old, Atto Boldin began representing the Twin Islands, participating in 4 Olympic competitions, collecting medals and setting records at championship games around the world. If you don't recognize him for his name or his accolades, maybe you'll remember him for these.
It's funny that that picture, which is now 14 years old, still gets shown all over the internet. I wore those for one race in the Olympics. I got a special bonus to wear them.
At the time, he was riding high, becoming the record holder for his still unbeaten clocking of 9.88 seconds at the 1998 Commonwealth Games. In the year 2000, he medaled twice in the Summer Olympics. Then, on a trip to Trinidad just 2 years later, the self-professed overachiever had an experience that would change the trajectory of his life forever. In Trinidad, you had an accident in 2002, which some people might call a career ender perhaps, but you did not let your career end. You've spoken about artists having an exit strategy even while they're in the prime of their career.
The night that that accident happened was actually the end of my career. I just didn't know it yet. I had been getting very good advice back in LA from people like Magic Johnson at the peak of my career. While your name still means something, figure out what you are going to do next. So when that accident happened, that's when I started to I would go in the broadcast truck and sit down and watch them produce a meet. And I think that's where the bug bit me.
That bug was a blessing in disguise. With redirected passion, Atto took what others might consider tragedy and turned it into a golden opportunity.
You have to understand, a lot of athletes go through depression when they retire. You go from the brightest lights, all this tension and expectation to nobody cares. I have filled that void in my life by being a broadcaster. Now that I am an Emmy-nominated sports broadcaster in track and field, I go, you know what? Maybe it is that who I am and who I was before, even as an athlete, was really preparing me for this. And thank God I had a decent career on the track, because I feel so much more comfortable in this role than I did even as an athlete.
Along with the advantage of being at every major track and field event worldwide, came the drama brought upon him because of how well he does his job.
The Jamaicans think I am pro-American. Mm-hmm. The Americans think I'm pro-Jamaican. Mm-hmm. And the Trinis think I don't mention Trinidad enough. So I'm like, that is the definition of being impartial. Everybody think you're for the other side. Or they leave me alone.
Of course, as professional as we try to be, some people just crack you up.
No, people literally were coming up to me after Beijing and saying, oh God, you could be, if I don't pick up Trinidad. It's like, NBC does not pay me by how many times I say Trinidad and Tobago on the air. Oh God, we could give you a little bly. I mean, I was just like, I am going to be loyal to the race.
Heading backwards in time a bit, we learned that a 16-year-old Atto became a sprinter only after switching focus from soccer. Even as a teenager, his head was always in the game. As you were training and getting into sports, were you always academic at the same time?
Always, but that can be a gift and a curse. As an athlete, you can't think your way through everything. You have to feel it. It has to be instinctive. And I think part of the reason why maybe I don't have an Olympic gold medal is because I was always the one who had to think my way through the race. And sometimes being a little bit too self-aware is not good in a 100-meter dash.
Being that self-aware is good when you're always striving for perfection.
I have an obsession to be the best, and I will literally lock myself in my office until I figure it out. So when I got into this business, I said, okay, so what's the gold medal in this business? I said, well, the gold medal in this business is an Emmy nomination or an Emmy award. For London, I locked myself in this office. And I said, there's nothing that's going to happen in London that I am not going to be prepared for. And when the Emmy nomination came, I went, see, if you put in the work, you will always get the results.
It wasn't always smooth sailing for Atto. A rough divorce and some hard losses in his professional life brought him back to Trinidad around 2005 to find respite. But the trip didn't necessarily make anything easier.
It was actually some of the worst years of my life because while I was down there, a lot of what was going on in the sport became revealed to me.
While in Trinidad, he discovered that some of the people he had competed against in the prime of his career had been using steroids in what became known as the Blakk scandal. He also discovered the first challenge that he was not willing to see all the way through. You got into politics for a minute, and then you quit after a year. You're not a quitter.
I got involved in politics again to fill the void. I was in it for 14 months, and that's long enough to know that I want no parts of it.
But you want to make a change.
And guess what? I realized that I had more power outside of politics as an individual than I did sitting down in Senate.
So he wasn't too fond of politics, nor, strangely, carnival. But Trinidad, where scholarships and a stadium bear his name, is still the place he thinks of as home. What does he miss most?
I miss Sundays. When I'm there on a Sunday in Trinidad feels like what Trinidad used to feel like when I was growing up. I experience the same thing actually when I go to Jamaica. Sunday, everything slows down, the cars are off the road, and you feel like, oh, this feels like island life.
You're very in tune with your Jamaican side. Talk about that at length.
I have to be, I have to be in tune with my Jamaican side, my mother being Jamaican, because Jamaicans eat, live, sleep, breathe, track and field. For that reason, I feel very at home when I go to Jamaica because it is a country that shares my passion for the sport.
What is the most important thing that you want to impress on the next generation of athletes?
You know, this is a generation of instant photos and apps. There's no Instagram for success. There's no app for it. To be the best in the world, you have to have an insatiable desire to be the best. A willingness to work harder and smarter than everybody else, literally, in the world. You have to be willing to go through a lot of pain and self-sacrifice. There's no injection for that.
To learn more about Atto Boldon, visit attoboldon.com. When we return, in the Diaspora Perspective, Caribbean Exceptionalism, and how such a tiny region can have such a huge impact on the world. There's nothing that reminds us more of home than the tantalizing tastes, the warm, inviting aromas of Jamaican food. From ackee and saltfish to homemade jerk chicken. Have it all at your fingertips with the Jamaican Recipes App. 110 authentic Jamaican recipes to bring a little taste of home into your home. Search Jamaican Recipes to download the Jamaican Recipes App for iPhone or Android. The Jamaican Recipes App, a taste of home at your fingertips. Caribbean exceptionalism. Let's start off with a definition. According to Wikipedia, exceptionalism is the perception that a country, society, institution, movement, or time period is exceptional. That is, unusual or extraordinary in some way, and thus does not need to conform to normal rules or general principles. It apparently doesn't on its own imply superiority, but conservative American writers have promoted its use in that way, and that's how I'll choose to use it today, to mean extraordinary and superior. It's funny that as proud and superior as we all are individually, we don't generally talk about ourselves that way as a community, but we should. As a region, even as individual countries, I'm not sure what I can point to us doing that's super spectacular, but our sons and daughters individually, at home and abroad, certainly are doing exceptional things and have been for generations. This is by no means a comprehensive list, but let me give you a few fairly current, simple examples broken down into categories. Athletics. After winning the 2014 French Open, renowned tennis player Rafael Nadal was immediately beaten by a Jamaican-German player, Dustin Brown. In the American basketball playoffs, British Virgin Islands-born Spurs player Tim Duncan helped guide his team to victory over the Miami Heat. You're tired of hearing me talk about Bolt and Fraser Price now, but we've also got Kirani James from Grenada and J. Hugh Gordon from Trinidad, Jamaica's Johan Blakk and Veronica Campbell-Brown, all runners of the Olympic medaling variety. Even before them, we had the Ato Boldons, Merlene Ottis, the Donald Quarries, and the Herb McKinleys. Next subject, media and entertainment. We know of the popular people, Rihanna from Barbados, Nicki Minaj from Trinidad, Beyonce, her father's Bahamian, Jason Derulo of Haitian descent. Although you may not gravitate to them personally, they are exceptional. As a reminder, the first album to sell 1 million copies in the United States came from a Jamaican American by the name of Harry Belafonte. The record was called Calypso. Back in the day, the music of Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer, Jimmy Cliff, and the like infiltrated pop culture, and bands like Simply Red and Police and the Rolling Stones. Today, there's a discussion as to whether foreigners have actually taken over reggae music as their own because they have so grown to love it and adapt it to their own culture. In the areas of politics and social justice, here's the big one. You know who had the first major slave rebellion in the Western world? The one that became the catalyst for the dissolution of the institution of slavery throughout the Western world? Haiti, and Toussaint Louverture, who brilliantly led a society of slaves to become the first independent territory in the New World. Then there was Jamaican Marcus Garvey, who from that little island led a movement that would influence blacks from the Caribbean to the United States and the European continent. Today in the U.S., men such as Barbadian-American Eric Holder and Jamaican-American Colin Powell have sat by the side of presidents, helping them to decide the fate of the free world. We could go on and on naming these examples, but is there a reason for this unique ability to churn out such world-class talent and influence from such a tiny region? I have a theory about this. I've personally found that the times that steel me best to brave every obstacle and to commit to success regardless of what stands in my way are the times when I've been beaten down to the lowest low and survived. I believe that that is the spirit of the Caribbean. The repatriation and reparations movements that arise every now and then, they're all about us trying to find a collective way to rise above the post-traumatic stress of what our heritage once was. They're all about us getting past what might be considered the mental abuse that has led many of us, although we don't accept or acknowledge this as fact, to not believe that we deserve prosperity or success, and to not believe that others around us do either. This is the low I'm talking about here. Our communities, and very likely our religions, have taught us that success, wealth, and riches are for evil people, and that it is good to be a poor servant. So because in our natural habitat we have been brainwashed and don't question the authority of such teachings, because everyone believes that stability and religion as we are fed it, and the status quo as we know it, is what it is, and we can't do better because we don't deserve better, we often stay mediocre at home. But when we leave Caribbean shores and transplant ourselves into a big, wide world with people with different accents and trees with different leaves and 4 different seasons and blizzards instead of hurricanes, and people around us talking about how in this strange new place anyone can truly become anything if he just works towards it and places himself among the right people with the right accents and plants gardens with the right trees in the right seasons to make the right amount of firewood for those snow-blanketed nights, then it seems we figure out how to light that fire of progress within ourselves. We figure out how to overcome the mental abuse that told us we had to remain mediocre, and we put the work ethic we learned back home, and the dedication we learned back home, and the confidence we were born with. We put all of that to work, and we teach it to our babies, who grow up to become pop stars and athletes and revolutionaries and politicians, and who help to cure cancer. Yes, we do that too. Caribbean exceptionalism is alive and well, my friends. I don't know for sure the cause of it. This is one of the pieces based on just my humble opinion. But whatever the real reason, Caribbean exceptionalism is alive and well. In response to my South Florida Times editorial titled I Am Caribbean American, one reader wrote in, "You are an alien that the USA has given the privilege of living in this great country. Why do you feel that Caribbean Americans should get special recognition? Maybe you should consider going back to your country where you can have all the special recognition you want." Another reader responded, "I think the fact that she's angry that you identify with your cultural affinity and taking that as an insult toward African Americans is overboard. As an African American, I do not share the same idea that Caribbean Americans are ungrateful because they love where they're from." Please share your thoughts with us on our Facebook page, on Twitter, or on our website. And find my column weekly in the Caribbean section of the South Florida Times. Next time on our show, 4 experts on entrepreneurship in the diaspora, a French spin on a Jamaican delicacy, and a candid look at the diaspora monster. Find us online at thecaribbeandiaspora.tv. Thanks for watching. I'm Caleb Thompson, and we'll see you next time on the Caribbean Diaspora Weekly, South Florida edition. The Caribbean Diaspora Weekly South Florida edition is presented by Carobcast, live Caribbean TV anywhere, and by Jamaicans.com.